Another day, another jaw-dropper from the commander in tweet. And this week, he outdid himself. We're talking prisons, deportations, and international water fights. Because apparently, diplomacy is overrated when you're Donald Trump. Segment 1. I'd be honored to deport Americans to El Salvador. Let's start with this gem. President Trump? Yes. Still, President said he'd be honored to deport Americans to El Salvador's most notorious prison. You heard that right. Americans. Not immigrants, not foreign nationals, citizens. Poof. Gone. This wasn't a gaffe. This was on purpose. He was responding to critics of his use of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a law older than Abraham Lincoln, to justify deporting over 100 suspected gang members to El Salvador Centro de Confinamiento del Turismo, a mega prison, famous for its overcrowding, lack of sunlight, and human rights abuses. Trump's actual words. I'm all for it. I'd be honored to deport them there. Like he's delivering pizza, not people. Legal scholars are screaming. Civil rights groups are begging for sanity. And Trump, he's giving standing ovations to international gulags. And let's not forget, our legal system isn't perfect. Innocent people are released every year after spending decades in prison for crimes they didn't commit. We have DNA exonerations, wrongful convictions, and prosecutorial mistakes that ruin lives. So when Trump says he'd be honored to deport people, possibly Americans, to a brutal foreign prison with no trial, no appeals, and no coming back, it's not just disturbing, it's dangerous. This administration has already made multiple high-profile mistakes in just the last 3 months, including revoking legal status by accident, mislabeling people in government databases, and pushing mass deportation policies based on shaky intel. So, yeah, maybe don't put the lives of U.S. citizens in the hands of an administration that can't even send an email to the right person. Segment 2. Mexico is stealing our water. And just when you thought we were done, he cranked up the drama again, this time accusing Mexico of stealing water from Texas farmers. Yes, water theft. The new border crisis. Here's the backstory. The 1944 Water Treaty says Mexico has to send a certain amount of water to the U.S. via the Rio Grande. Mexico's behind this year, sure. But also, there's a historic drought, and water literally doesn't exist in some regions. But who needs facts when you've got rhetoric? Trump didn't ask for cooperation. He threatened tariffs and sanctions, because obviously, nothing hydrates crops like a trade war. This is how we solve global disputes now, with ultimatums and Instagram posts, and probably a Truth Social meme by morning. Segment 3. What this all really means. Now, let's connect the dots. Trump is pushing the limits of executive power with centuries-old laws. He's cheering on prisons with no sunlight and no mercy. He's manufacturing foreign policy crises over rivers. And somehow, we're all just supposed to normalize it. This is bigger than shock value. It's the slow grind of what authoritarianism looks like when it's too confident to hide anymore. Trump's not saying the quiet part out loud anymore. He's blasting it through a megaphone. If you're exhausted, horrified, or just wondering how we got here, you're not alone. Like, comment, share, because maybe, just maybe, if enough of us keep paying attention, we'll stop this before it gets worse. Join reluctant Politico for facts, not propaganda served with style.